K-Rock, Mid-Atlantic Rock Reviews, Marmy Rock Show, and I am here with Jimmy from KIX. Man, I'm so glad to be doing this. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, I didn't tell you this ahead of time because, I didn't want to say this and ruin the moment, but, I was talking to my friends down there, you guys... In 1980s, I was riding around in my car. You were if you had told me today I was going to be interviewing you, I would have been starstruck. So I'm so glad to be doing this, man. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. We're just normal guys like everybody else, just having fun playing music,
But, I think people that don't know you, that's kind of always been your vibe from day one. So let's go back and talk about that. Is that part of what made you guys a great a phenomena in Baltimore, was we're regular guys kind of thing?
I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. You'd have to ask the fans that, we were just up there playing music, having a great time. And, our fans have always been awesome, especially in Baltimore. And they made it fun for us, so that's what we fed off of.
So we bought our M3 tickets today. Actually, they went on sale, and you guys are the house band at M3. How did that happen?
I don't know. The first year, I think it was the first year they did one day, and we played fourth from last or something like that. And I don't know how it came about, but they decided to do 2 days and have us headline, because, we're from the area, and I don't know if people are complaining about it yet or not. Why don't they get somebody else on Friday night? But they've always called it the kicks off party or whatever. And, the one year they tried, because Wasp wouldn't go before us.
I remember.
And so I think that taught him a little bit of a lesson, because I think people were walking out on him. So, I don't know what to say about that. We don't care. We'll play anywhere. We don't have to play last. We can play anywhere during the day. It doesn't bother us. But it seems to work.
So for people that don't understand, with what you just said, the whole HammerJacks era of the 80s, and other bands not wanting to open for you, what was that like? Because nationals that were around the world that other places you would have opened for were opening for you guys. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think it was before that they were such big names. Maybe a few bands that, like Cinderella warmed up for us up in Lemore's in Brooklyn, and maybe a couple other ones here and there. But it was before they were really big bands. It's when they were first coming out. So, but it doesn't bother us. We'll warm up for whoever. It doesn't matter. We'll just get up and do what we do, and it's kind of nice ending early once in a while,
So talk a little bit about Monsters of Rock Cruise. Miss MARR just showed up here, so talk a little bit about Monsters of Rock Cruise, because I feel like that helped you guys a whole lot as well.
Oh, absolutely. The Monsters of Rock has been so good to us. We love Larry Moran. We'd do anything that he'd want us to do, as far as I'm concerned, because he's treated us really well. We've been on how many now? 5, 6
all
Monsters?
Of them, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've been on all of the Monsters of Rocks, and they're so cool. I guess we sort of pay our way, or whatever you want to say. I guess people want to have us back, but that has been such a wonderful thing for us, because I'd never been on a cruise before that.
Really?
I didn't know quite to expect, and I heard stories about other rock cruises like that. They sell half the ship and the other half. The Def Leppard cruise we did was that way. And it's a little more awkward, I'm so glad the Monsters sell out every year, because, they get to do what they want, put the stage on the pool deck and all that, Yeah.
Do you like the cruises? Because it's so different for you guys. Here you're backstage, but there you're public, man. You're out there with everyone. Do you like it?
We love it. I love it. I can go wherever I want, and talk to people here and there. But thank God I'm not Steve. He just gets he gets mobbed, on the ship. And I think, a few nights he goes out and he deals with it, after he's had a few. But it's so cool to be on a ship like that and to see friends from other bands that you don't get to see, and plus, see other bands that you've never seen before. Like we've gotten to know Richie Kotzen, who is just amazing. We see his show every time that we're on, him and the Winery Dogs. But his solo band is, I think, just as good as the Winery Dogs in their own way. Those two guys that play with him are just amazing.
We love seeing all the bands.
Anyway, Monsters Rock, yeah, that's such an amazing time, and we'll be there as long as he has us.
So you mentioned, Steve can't go anywhere, and Steve, all that kind of stuff, and I get it. And we've gotten to know you a little bit. And you're the drummer behind the scenes, but man, you've been there from day one. You're every bit a part of KIX. And one of the things I want to ask you about your singing, because a lot of those harmonies and vocals are you in the background.
Yeah.
So are you trained? Did Steve train you? Did you learn it yourself? Talk about
that. No, I'm not a lead vocalist at all. I'm a background vocalist, and I do what I do, and I guess it gets what we need done, but I'm not any great singer by any means. But
you're underestimating yourself, though, because your band, the backup vocals are really cool with you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Do you guys work a lot on that? Or was that from day one part of the band, or?
I guess so. Not really intentionally. I don't know, but it was always just three guys singing in the band: Steve and Donnie originally, and now Mark. But so it's all, a lot of times it's two-part harmonies that it's me and Steve, and we don't sit down and work at it or anything like that. We just do what's on the records,
That's great.
That's what makes it even better.
Thank you.
Though, so
yeah, thank you. But I'm not really a trained singer or anything. I don't warm up, because doing backups like that, I can sort of fudge my way through things sometimes and die. Not like Steve. He can't do that. He's got to be on top of it all the time. That's why he does an hour routine to warm up every show religiously. Yeah.
So let's talk about Rock Your Face Off, man. So it's out there now, and there's a long gap between the releases. But so how long were those tunes rolling around before their album was released?
Well, some of them a little while, but there's a couple on there that we actually learned as we were recording. Like "Love Me With Your Top Down" was one of them that was
one of her favorites.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
yes.
That's one that Mark and Taylor wrote pretty much as we were recording. And then a couple of them were songs that Mark had written with our old Funny Money guitar player Rob Galpin, because he and Rob have been writing for years and years. They just write music all the time. And so he had a couple from that. Wheels in Motion is one of those that Rob wrote with him. And so that was around, and Mean Misadventure was another one that they wrote. And they actually, this is kind of funny, they gave me their demo for that song because they were telling me that it's just not quite right. There's something wrong with it. And their demo they gave me, the drum part was like, it was like a Hot for Teacher drums or something, Alex Van Halen. And I thought, that's just too much, So I brought it, and I redid the drums on their demo at my house. And, I'm a big Phil Rudd fan, Joey Kramer, real straightforward. So I just basically took that song and I put Beating Around the Bush to it. That's basically the drum part that I put to that song, and I sent it back to them, and they go, "That's it! That's it!" That's exactly what it needed.
So a couple things I want to ask you. So I don't even know if you know this, but last year you won our MARR Golden Horns Award for Best Live Band.
Oh, cool.
And that's voted on by our fans, our readers. And do you guys actually get it that other bands come out and watch you guys? Do you realize that?
Yeah, we see them. I mean, we love it. Another thing at M3 some years, whoever headlines like Saturday or whatever, they like, or they lock the stage down. Nobody can be on the stage while they're playing, you know. It's like, why? What do you don't want people to see, you know, or what? I don't know. It's like, we don't care about that. Come on up. But it's flattering and humbling for us to have bands on the side of the stage watching our show.
So here's a weird question. Like, are you guys bigger now than you were in the 80s?
Well, we're playing across the country more so, I think, other than the tours we did back in the day with Rat and Tesla, and we did Whitesnake. You know, other than that, you know, we're playing across the country much more now, mainly because of our agent, Big Time Entertainment. You know, he's really is the reason that we're out here doing this now, because when we got back together, we figured we'd do, you know, 2, 3, 4 shows around Baltimore.
And here you are touring, basically.
Yeah, and we didn't have any idea that the rest of the country even remembered who we were or gave a shit. So, I mean, Sullivan Big was the one that talked us into it. And of course, the first show we did out of our area was Rocklahoma in whatever year it was. I don't even remember. The time that they had the big storms.
We weren't there, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember what year it was, but that was the first time we went out of our area, and he talked us in. Just try this and see what happens. And we went through that, and he said, "Okay, we get it now. We might be able to do this." So gave him a little more and had a few more, and it just built up over the years, and now we're doing 30, 40 shows every year. Probably, 20, 25 of them out of our area.
So I'm looking down at your hands. I've interviewed a lot of drummers. Your hands are in pretty good shape, man. How do you take care of it? Or are they not? Like, am I wrong about that? Because you've been a drummer a really long time, and drummers usually, like, show some war wounds.
Well, I've wimped out the past couple of years and started wearing gloves again.
That's all right.
Because, we're not playing constantly all the time anymore. We do these fly dates, fly out, do 1 or 2 shows, and fly home. Sometimes we'll have, 2 weeks off in a row, and I guess you guys probably know I was working in a kitchen for a long time through the week, and so anyway, my hands, like I said, I've wimped out a little bit and started wearing gloves, because if I was finding out where sometimes we wouldn't play for a while and I'd go out and play, and I'd get blisters underneath my calluses.
Wow.
And then the calluses come off. You got to start all over again. So that's why I wimped out and started wearing gloves.
It's all right. It sounds great.
But yeah,
That's what matters.
the playing is the same,
Right.
and I got some tendonitis going on now, getting older.
We all are.
Yeah, so I got to wear this thing all the time and get cortisone shots every so often, but it's rock and roll, so it's whatever works for whoever's doing it,
So 1 or 2 more things before I let you go. So what is the one song that gets asked for the most that you guys don't play in your live set?
Oh man, that's hard.
So there's multiples.
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, we try to bring back songs once in a while, like we brought back Body Talk for a couple shows, and because if you hear the story up at Pennsylvania, this show, somebody wanted to hear it so bad, and we hadn't played it since Cool Kids tour.
We were at a show, I think it was played at.
Yeah.
They offered $1,000 for us if we would play that song.
And you did.
Hard to turn up.
So we did it. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to turn that down. So we did it, and we did it for a few shows. We did it at M3 one year.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's probably where we heard it.
Yeah.
I know we heard it.
Yeah. But it's because I don't think there's any really one song that people ask for constantly, but there's a few out there. I know one that gets asked for is a good bit that we really don't know how to do it anymore. It's Walking Away.
Oh, I love
Walking
that
Away.
too. Yeah.
I think it's a great song. But the production on that song on the record is we just don't know how we could recreate that right now. at this point. We're trying to figure out a way to do it, but I'm talking to Mark, and we're trying to figure out some way we might be able to do that. But that would be hard. We'd have
Such a good tune.
We'd have to either just totally rearrange the arrangement or figure out some way to recreate the production on that song. Because I don't know if you guys know anything about production of records or
No,
but
zero.
that song, mainly the intro, there's so many different effects and samples going on the intro that we just could not recreate that live.
So here's a naive non-drummer dumb question, but I've always wanted to ask a drummer this. What's the deal with the plexiglass sometimes around the drums?
We did that for a while because we played Mohegan Sun up in Connecticut. And the first time we went up there, they have a decibel limit they have to keep because because the Wolf Den that we play there is right in the middle of the casino. You walk out of the Wolf Den and 10 feet away there's slots. So they have a decibel limit that you keep. So they had plexiglass there that they put around the drums.
So the venues kind of picked that.
That place did. They had them there. So, and we did that. We used it there, and we were kind of like, wow, this is pretty cool. They kind of cleaned up our inner mixes for us because it isolates the drums from all the other mics on stage.
Oh, wow.
So it sort of cleaned things up, and we actually bought one, and I'm sure you guys know that I used it for quite a while.
Yeah.
But then, after a while, it's like, come on, it's rock and roll. Everything goes through every mic anyway. and we've gotten better with our inner mixes and everything like that, and it doesn't affect that as much as it did.
You were the first band I think we saw with the plexiglass,
Possibly,
and then right after that we saw several bands. And we were wondering, but then it kind of went away, and we hadn't seen it.
Well, a lot of there's quite a few touring bands that use that. I know Abe with Paul McCartney. They have. It's not totally around it, but they have some up there, and you don't really notice it.
Okay.
Unless you're looking.
Right.
Yeah. Some guys are good at concealing it. Some of them are sort of down below and they're not real high. But they get good at being discreet with doing it.
I actually Googled it at one point, trying to understand why.
But that's why it just isolates the drums from everything else on stage.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're not getting
more
all
for your production.
Yeah,
your
you're not getting the cymbals and all the vocal mics out front, and But like I said, it's rock and roll.
Yeah.
So two more things. What's the hardest technical kick song as a drummer?
Oh man, Rock and Roll Overdose is one of them. I always love playing that song, but those guys have a tough time. They call that cement shoes song.
I remember that,
yeah, it's a cement shoes because they can't do any moves and play it. Another one for me is Laying Rubber. That's a cool song too.
So I know you probably can't answer this question, but do you have a favorite kick song?
Oh.
And if so, why? I know it's a hard question.
One of them is Rock and Roll Overdose because I always love playing that song. It's interesting for me as a drummer to play that.
So it's not like the meaning behind the song; it's just the actual.
Yeah,
play.
I'm not really a lyrical guy or anything like that. I barely know the lyrics to the songs. Yeah, I don't have Steve up in my mix very much either. He gets off time sometimes, so if I have him up too loud, that kind of screws me up.
Oh gosh!
Don't tell him I said that.
I won't tell anybody. Nobody will hear it.
I do actually have to ask one last thing before I let you go. Chocolate, what's up? Where'd that come from?
Well, that's a good story. When back in 1980 or whenever it was, when we were getting our record contract and starting to do interviews, nobody could pronounce or spell my name right my name was misspelled on our record contract.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's New York City lawyers writing these things up, and it was misspelled. So I crossed it out and wrote it in pen the right way, you know, and so I think it was Steve that said, well, nobody gets it right. We should turn it into something simple that everybody could remember, something like chocolate. And it sort of stuck, you know. It's really nothing more than that.
So here we are, 30 years later.
Yeah, it's nothing more than that.
Yeah, we always wondered about that.
30.
27.
No, it's more than it's like 30.
I was trying to be kind. I was trying to. I was taking you backwards, you know.
1980. This 2016. 36 years.
I'm only 29, so it can't be that long.
Well, I got 30 years on you.
Jimmy, man, thank you so much. This has been an honor for me, man. I really appreciate you doing this.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you doing it.